Welcome, everyone, and Merry Christmas to those of you that are celebrating today. And even if you're not celebrating Christmas, Merry Christmas anyway, right? Who doesn't want to be merry on a day like today? I am so excited that here at the Tooth Sleuth podcast, we have a special episode for you today. I hope that you're listening with friends and loved ones, whether you're at home and opening presents under a tree, or if you're out at a Chinese restaurant and like they did in A Christmas Story, which is one of my favorite Christmas movies of all time. Although, if you ask my husband, he thinks it's the dumbest one ever. So, for those of you that know the movie, Fragile. And so, put some notes in those comments in those notes on all the socials on that if you know exactly what I'm talking about, because it's a very prestigious prize. Anyway, I have some very special guests. So rather than interviewing people from the dental industry that are outside of GnA Consult, I have brought some of our people from inside the GnA Consult team to be with me today. And I'm going to help to introduce them and let them introduce themselves. And I'm going to start off ranking from the longest tenured employee at GnA Consult, and that would be none other than my full-time executive assistant from way across the world. And yes, they celebrate Christmas there as well. None other than Mervie Gabriel, my executive assistant. Mervie, you want to say hello to everybody?
Hi, everyone. I'm the podcast manager that Greg is mentioning when we're doing the podcast recording. So, as Greg mentioned, I was working with him for about a year, almost 2 years on August 2025. And I hope I'm still working with him even if for a longer time, like 10 years or 20 years, and as long as the company is successful.
And she is definitely the powerhouse behind the success of me and the company at GnA Consult. Thank you so much, Mervie, for being here and for all that you do. And next, I'd like to introduce my right hand person. Well, I guess Mervie is my right hand person, or is she my left hand person? I don't know. I'm ambidextrous at this company for sure. So, next, I want to introduce my director of operations who makes all the trains run on time and she's just been fantastic since she joined the company and my group and helps everyone to be a better person here at GnA Consult. None other than Shar Watson. Hi, Shar.
Hi, guys. It's so good to be on here with everyone.
And she's usually behind the scenes, so I'm pulling her in front of the scenes now, which is just kind of so fun and so enjoyable. And for those of you who've gotten to know Shar and the little ones running around in her house, I'm sure it's a crazy day. So for her to take some time today to hop onto a podcast recording, if we hear any of them playing with the toys and jumping into her lap and onto the microphone, that's okay too. And and last but not least, and it's not the entire team, but it's the ones that we could get in front of a camera and on the microphone today, is our implant sales trainer and none other than Charles the Prince. Charles, say hello to the crowd.
Hello, crowd, and again, Merry Christmas. Ho, ho, ho. Hoping everyone has an excellent day.
Wait a second. Who are you calling a hoe? Wait, we won't go down that road. We'll keep it PG-13 today as much as possible. And for those who didn't who are just listening audio, hop over to the YouTube at that spot at about the 3-minute mark, and you'll see a big belly laugh from Charles. Well, I don't want to take too much time of everybody's time on Christmas morning because I know you just popping in to listen real quick here, but as we introduce the team, so let's go around. Mervie, you already did, right? You know, we call her Mervs, by the way, if you're familiar with her, and if you're familial with her, she goes by Mervs, and so she already told us who she was and her role and how long she's been in dental. And I think this might be her first foray in dental. So we're going to go around the room. Who are you? What is your role in the company? Even though we said, but like, what do you really do? And then how long have you been in the dental field? So again, let's go reverse order this time. Let's start with Charles and we'll work our way back. So Charles, why don't you tell a little bit about it yourself?
Spinaroo, what a way to celebrate the holidays. I'm mixing things up, no problem at all. But Charles the Prince again. Ideally, I probably have been in the dental field for the past maybe 5 years. Been in the kind of sales industry, I guess you could say, in customer service, really, and what I like to define it as for maybe over 20 something years. Just truly enjoy the industry. Ideally, in this role, my job is to work with kind of in-house. Shar stays on me from the internal perspective, and so I kind of go. Um, in kind of on site every once in a while, but also weekly we do training in reference to understanding our patients, understanding what they come in for, understanding the why behind why they decide, hey, today or next week or next year I want to come in and make a dental appointment. We take those things very serious, and so we train to just really listen to our patients and understand their needs and really allow them to get the full arch or whatever they desire in reference to the implant world.
Yeah, working every touch point of that patient journey on the sales side, because we also have the operations side as well at GnA Consult, working with our clients hand in hand. And that's where Shar Watson comes in. So, and besides the fact of cracking the whip, and I know, Shar, we love you for it. Thank goodness somebody does it. That way I don't have to be the bad guy. So, Shar, same question. Name, rank, and serial number. No, name and role. And how long have you been in dental? Share with the listening audience today.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've been in the dental field for about 15 years. I've moved from private practices to emerging groups to scaling DSOs and then now into the consulting space. So kind of have had the touch point of what a director of operation looks like in these different spectrums, but absolutely love being here with Greg, being in the consulting space with everyone. The roles, it's kind of complex, right? Like we've got the director of operations in the sense of managing the operations of the GnA side, helping the business to grow, revenue-based activities, retention, right? But then we've got the client-facing side, which I also truly love, and being able to provide strategy for our clients, helping them to build their full arch clinics, whether that's operation focus, financial focus, team focus, whatever they need to really help them be scalable and profitable.
I mean, that's in a nutshell, like all the things, right? I like to say that she gets her fingers up in your P&L statements to be able to show you the true profitability of your full arch practice, even if it is a big part or a growing part or a small part wanting to become a bigger part of your practice and the GP side and separating it out. So you really have a true vision of how you are doing, where you're at, what's happened, what it's like now, and where you're going in the future. And I think that's so critically important. That's just in a nutshell what I like to share with people. And then last but not least, our very own Mervs, Mervie Gabriel. So what is it that you do, Mervs? And be kind, I'm listening.
All right. So most of my tasks are more on organizing and then calendar management. Also helping with the social media contents, managing the podcast, and last but not the least, helping Greg to take off all of the tasks
I
from
heard the
his plate
trying.
so he can
Everybody
drive
heard
more
trying
revenue.
there, didn't you?
Yeah, so to help you drive more revenue, as you always say, and also, yeah, that's it. Just more on the management stuff like organizing files and calendar management.
Yeah, and I mean, literally, if anybody's engaged with myself or with GnA Consult, they've probably seen Mervie interact with, and sometimes people get confused. They'll send an email to me, to Greg at Dental Consult, the number 4 letter U.com, and then Mervie jumps in with her signature, and sometimes it gets confusing for people. And I love the fact that she makes it seamless by introducing herself. So she has access to my email inbox. She manages my calendar. She jumped in and became the social media manager and has just been learning and growing every day. And she keeps adding more responsibilities and duties. And I love that. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for that. Now, for the most important question of the day for everyone, what is on your wish list that you sent to Santa at the North Pole this year? Mervs, I'm going to start with you. I think that's most important. What's on your wish list for Santa?
Oh, I don't know what I'm going to wish for Santa. Maybe it's just the simple things like good health and then continue working with you guys because this is an awesome team.
I mean, what I'm hearing is somebody's on the naughty list. I mean, if you're on the naughty list, you really don't ask for much, Mervs. I'm just saying. All right, how about you, Shar? What's on the Santa wish list?
Oh my gosh. My Santa wish list is a vacation. Wait, can I say this? This is going to make me sound like a bad mom. I want a vacation by myself to be able to read as long as I want to and enjoy a glass of wine in peace, maybe even a hot cup of coffee in the morning, and I don't have to warm it up 4 times, and then maybe another vacation with just the girls. How's that?
What's on the reading list? If you want to be able to read uninterrupted, what's on the reading list? Curious.
Oh, that's a good question, Greg, because I really enjoy reading business, obviously just to continue to grow myself, but then I really enjoy just the personal reads. Currently what I'm reading right now is, well, gosh, I feel like it sounds like so funny to say it, but it's called The Coaching Revolution. I really love it. It's actually written in the 80s and it's one of my favorites. I've just gone back to it, just to make sure that I'm continuously improving myself and how I deliver to our clients and also to our coaches as well as their director of operations.
I love that because some of the oldies are goodies, right? So there's a book called One Word, and I'm introducing it to Billy Prisby with Presto Smile, the CEO and founder of Presto Smile, and also Laura Nelson, the founder of Front Office Rocks and Sober Life Rocks. I'm a founding member of Sober Life Rocks, and they're doing a big to-do. We had a great coming out party at the Greater New York Dental meeting, and I shared that book with them. And in essence, I'll boil it down, and it's every year you read it. It's a very simple book, and you pick one word that will be your focus and your mantra for the entire upcoming year. And my word for this year, for 2024, was grow. And boy, oh boy, did GnA Consult grow. So next year, I'm picking a different word, and I'll share it with everyone on a future podcast. But hold on. If you have a word like that, it's gonna throw you. So thank you for sharing what's on your wish list, and also what you're reading, right? Oldies and goodies, and resurfacing those. Charles, how about yourself? What do you want Santa to bring you this year?
Hopefully, I am on the nice list. Ideally, I just hope for the simple things. I think that is what life is. So peace, of course, greater love. Um, Also, just the growth within this team. Merv is telling the absolute honest truth in reference to how great it is to work with this team, working with our clients. Just working. Also, it's refreshing going out because of what we have in, and so we have so much. I think to bring other offices, that type of stuff, and with our clients, it's just amazing. So, just more growth within the team, and just some personal things is love and peace. And I'm just a simple guy.
I love all that. Well, as we wrap up here, because again, I want people to be able to get to their friends and family on the Christmas episode from GnA Consult to wrap up 2024. I want to ask each of you, what's your best Christmas gift that you ever received? And some of us are a little longer in the tooth, so we have some memories that we have. So I'll open it up to the group. I won't necessarily pick an order, so anyone can go at any choice. And I'm not going to point to you, but what's the best Christmas gift you've ever received? And I'll give you a moment to think about that. I'll tell you what's on my Santa wish list this year. So my son, John, and his wife, Mel, got married just over 2 years ago, and they said that they were going to start trying in October because deductibles reset in January. How practical, right? So I'm hoping under the tree is a little announcement that Greg's going to be a grandpa. So fingers crossed that under the tree, when I see them later today, please, 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 I've been a good boy. Well, I don't want to go that far. Let's just say that's what I want for Christmas this year. All right, team. So what's your best Christmas gift you've ever received?
I'll start. So this happened a few years ago, and I won't tell my whole life story because nobody needs to hear, the ins and outs of that. But we were going through a really hard time as a family, like incredibly hard. And the night before Christmas, Christmas Eve, on our doorstep was just so many gifts for the girls. And it wasn't even the gifts themselves. The honest truth of it, we took all those gifts, and the next day on Christmas went to the shelter and gave them all to the kids at the shelter. But just that mere generosity that someone out there, and I don't know who it is even to this day, thought of us and saw us in our lowest time and took the time to make sure that my girls would have a Christmas. Sincerely, from the bottom of my heart, that was the most incredible gift.
Not only the gift of giving to you and your family, but then paying that forward. That's amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that story. What a beautiful gift. Well, Charles and Mervs, good luck topping that, right? How about for you?
I really can't top that. Shard is very touching, and again, I think maybe that is one of the reasons why you probably operate and move the way you do, because you do always pay things forward. I think one of the things that I can think back at now is, so my dad used to do just crazy things, and so for Christmas, I never forget, Santa Claus actually came to our home. And of course, it's like, okay, okay, wow, that's over the top of that. But I think those things that you think about years later, you understand the sacrifices that, your parents or, for example, my dad had to make in order to make that happen. So I think that's something that, and when I tell that story now, they're like, what? Santa really came to your house? And it's like, yeah, he really did come to our house. And we took pictures and those things. But I think it goes back into the sacrifices that my parents made. And so that is why I continue to be sacrificial towards others.
Oh, I love that. Love that. Santa visiting, and the pictures too. I bet those pictures are amazing to look back and have those fond memories. How about you, Mervs? Best Christmas gift ever?
So, I'm just going to give a context about this. I don't have a work on pandemic, and then the freelance stuff or VA virtual assistant started here on pandemic in the Philippines. I December 2021 is the time that I applied from my first former client. And then I think that's the best Christmas gift that I have so far, because I got a job, and then I can help my family sustain our needs and help them through our financial stuff. So yeah, that's it for me.
I love that. Another gift of giving. Well, for me, I go back to my childhood. So I remember it was the very first Christmas. My mother passed when I was very young, and my dad had remarried. And it was the first Christmas that there was the 2-income household. The 2 oldest sisters, I'm the youngest of 6 kids. The 2 oldest sisters had moved out of the house. And so it was the first year that it wasn't, the hand-me-down clothes. And I mean, we were relatively poor until that point. And then things started to shift economically, and we really wanted an Atari gaming system. This is dating me. I'm 53 years old. And all the gifts were opened under the tree, the typical where you get like new socks, new underwear, maybe a new pair of pants instead of all the hand-me-downs, right? Not the socks and underwear, but, all the hand-me-downs of clothes. And all the gifts were open, and it was probably like an hour later, at least the way that I remember it, as an 8 or I think it was a 9, as a 9-year-old. And there was like this surprise that my dad did of like, well, did you get everything that you wanted? And, I remember just being kind of a humble kid of, yeah, it was a great Christmas. And then suddenly there was this big present brought out from the back bedroom. And I just remember just the extreme joy on my face. And the reason I share that is because to this day, I love nothing more than to surprise people with gifts, with just things, right? Being thoughtful about paying forward to others. And I've heard that here as well. But the surprise, right? From Santa visiting to, the joy of getting a job as a virtual assistant, during the pandemic, when the opportunity to be able to support family and contribute to family, to, being, really in the straits with the family, and suddenly things show up at your doorstep to be able to provide a holiday, a Christmas for, your children and for your family, and then to be able to pay it forward. And so what I've heard and what I know to be true is that here at GnA Consult, we really all are about being of service and paying it forward. It's not so much about what we can get from, although we do learn from each one of our clients, but it's about what we can give and how we can help teams to level up. Sure, to help you as clinicians and groups and practices that are trying to do more full arch to increase your income and profitability, but also for individual team members and individual humans to be able to build and grow and give you tools to be able to use in all parts of your life, all aspects of your life. And so what a great representation that we have here today on our team. And I wish all of you out there that are listening a very Merry Christmas and a happy and prosperous New Year. Thank you so much, team, for being here this morning and giving some of your time on Christmas morning to be able to share all of your joy. And I wish all of you a very Merry Christmas.